Hello and welcome back to another flight review. Today I'm back here at Nice Airport and I'm going to be flying back to London Heathrow today with British Airways. So let's get into the terminal and check in.
British Airways operate out of Terminal 1 of Nice Airport. In order to get to Terminal 1, I needed to catch the tram, which took me a confusing long time to figure out. But nevertheless, I got there eventually.
Terminal 1. Terminal 1. Next stop, Airport Terminal 1.
Here is the check-in area for British Airways. I got there pretty early, so the lines were non-existent. The security process was a bit crowded, but it's certainly not the longest line I've had to wait in. Now unfortunately, there's not much to show in the airport. All of the good views are blocked by jet bridges, so I couldn't really film much. Luckily, however, the flight did start boarding on time, so I didn't have to worry about waiting around. Here's the aircraft for today's flight, a British Airways Airbus A320 NEO. Here is my seat for today, seat 14F. Although the cabin feels very modern, the seat feels like a bit of a downgrade. It's missing the sleek style and the adjustable headrest of the older cabin. There's also no seat recline, and the armrests are quite small. Shortly after boarding finished commencing, it was time for pushback. It was a pretty short taxi to the runway today, but we did get a great view of Terminal 2 and a lovely shot of an Air France Airbus A318. After waiting for an Air France A320 to land, it was our turn to take off. Yep. Our flight departed on time, looking over the Mediterranean Sea. Here's the legroom, which is pretty tight, but I was able to put up with it for the short hour-and-a-half flight. Here's the tray table, which was very small but sturdy. Some great views over the Alps as we continue to ascend. There is Wi-Fi on board, however you do have to pay for it. In terms of in-flight service, British Airways uses a buy on board system, which you can access on their website during the flight. Now, they do offer a complimentary snack and water, but if you want anything above that, you're going to have to pay. Now, the menu selection is actually pretty good and has a lot of decent options, but the price does vary quite a bit. It is pretty controversial for a buy on board system to be used on a flagship carrier, especially since other ones in Europe are still using complimentary service. I kept things pretty simple and got myself a Coke and a Kit Kat. Once we had reached our cruising altitude, this was the view I had for majority of the flight. As the flight approached the English Channel, the plane started to descend into London Heathrow. It was a very busy time, so we ended up having to circle a couple times before we were cleared to land. After an hour-and-a-half long flight, it was time to land back in London Heathrow. Overall, this flight wasn't what I was expecting. The seat was a bit of a downgrade, and seeing a buy-on-board system on a flagship carrier isn't what I was hoping for. I wouldn't say this flight was terrible because it wasn't, we left on time and the crew were very friendly. It just feels like a bit of a downgrade from what I've come to expect from them. I took a flight with Air France a couple of weeks ago and I had a much better experience with them. Overall, the flight wasn't bad, just not what I was expecting from British Airways. I most likely will fly on British Airways again. Although I don't quite enjoy their European services, I do really like their long haul. These reviews are always my perspective, so I'll leave it up to you to figure out its worth for yourself. So that wraps up this review for today. So as always, thanks for watching.